He's just teleporting around. Look at him. He's just tick, 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 tick. And you just, I don't get it, bro.
Every ability in this game has a purpose that isn't Cloak. No one likes Cloak.
I don't really think that Cloak should really be an ability in Die of Death. Cloak by itself is a great survival tool that can help you out through most of the game, but to help out your team, it really doesn't do anything. Cloak is the only ability that just helps yourself, and even Hot Dog, an ability that's supposed to heal yourself, can be used for body blocking and also helping your team. But Cloak, all you really do is just hide yourself and your team is left alone. You really rely on getting an ability that's actually useful for your team, like Caretaker, where you're able to hide yourself and also heal your team. That's good synergy right there, but really any other ability and you're just trying to survive yourself. You might get something like Punch or Gunslinger, where you're defending yourself and you could defend against your team, but you're more likely to just help yourself out since you have an ability that both hides yourself and protects yourself. Having an ability like that where you're supposed to help out your team doesn't really seem to go well in an asym game like this. In a game where almost every single other ability provides use to your team, Cloak is the only one that doesn't help your team out, and I just think that's kind of flawed. In the newest Die of Death update, they were willing to rework a bunch of abilities, one which I already stated being Hot Dog, and another one being Adrenaline. Adrenaline now giving speed boost for anyone you run past, which is helpful for your team as well. But the only ability that didn't get a meaningful change to help out their team seems to be Cloak. Any changes that they could attempt to make Cloak a team ability would just be overpowered, especially if Cloak were to be able to become invisible and share that invisibility with any teammates nearby for a few seconds. Just makes the game even more difficult for the killer. So that alone shows how much of a problem Cloak can also be when it comes to balancing. You can't really take Cloak, an ability that's meant just for yourself, and make it a team ability. Another reason why Cloak shouldn't be in Die of Death. It stands alone as the most selfish ability in a game where almost all abilities help out your team in one way or another. It's not fair to have a player just not really do anything, especially when a teammate could just easily hoard their abilities. That's not to say all players play this way. There are players that are going to be using Cloak to hide themselves and help out the team in secret by any means possible, but there are going to be that majority of players that would rather just use Cloak as an ability to hide themselves and to sustain themselves. Cloak can be a good ability at the end of the day, but in a game like this, it just seems to stand out too much to where it's not a good ability when there are so many other abilities such as Bugle, where you can help out your team by reducing your cooldowns. And compared to Cloak, it's no contest, but there are going to be players that would rather just live the long game and choose an ability like Cloak and not help out their team, which isn't fair to yourself or your team when there are so many other options where you can help out your team. And even if you do want to live the long game, you could always choose an ability like Hot Dog or Adrenaline where you can at least help out your team. But choosing Cloak is like deciding you just want to help yourself. The only real excuse you can have is saying that Cloak was paired with a good ability like Caretaker, Bonus Pad, or Bugle, but at the end of the day, you can't really decide what you get. So there's not always going to be that person that gets Cloak and ends up getting a good ability alongside of it, and because of that, they would rather just hide and survive because that's what Cloak does best. The way Die of Death is going, it seems that it'd rather just be a team game where everybody can help themselves out in one way or another while also helping out their team as an alternative. But with Cloak, that alternative isn't really there unless your second ability is something that you want to use to help out either your team or yourself, instead of having two abilities where you can make that decision. You can really take any ability and put it down in those two scenarios. All abilities except for Cloak, which once again shows why I don't think Cloak needs to be in Die of Death. Unless they find a way that they can change Cloak in a meaningful way for your team, there's really nothing you can do for Cloak. Every other survivalist ability, such as Dash, Hot Dog, and Adrenaline, they've had their change and can now support out their teams, except Cloak. So for me, the decision to get rid of Cloak would make sense. It's not really needed anymore, It's really only viable for yourself, and it doesn't bring any support to your team. So that just seems like the easy decision when it comes to deciding what happens to Cloak. If they were to rework it, I still do think that it would become a really overpowered ability, especially since it's a get out of free chase tool, and if it were to support your team, it just really become one of the best abilities for survivability. If I were to really change it, I would just make maybe a puff of smoke covering any surrounding teammates, and then hiding yourself with the cloak, just making the amount of time you're hidden shorten, be able to confuse the killer. But there are already so many disorientation tools such as banana peel taunt, pie, that it just really puts Cloak in a place where it can't really become a team ability in the first place, because if it does, it just becomes a more survival-sided game where there's an ability that makes your team become invisible or unseen for a short duration of time, and if nothing is done with it, it's just one of the most selfish abilities in the game, which is also a problem within itself. I really wish there was something that could be done for Cloak, but I just don't think there is anything we can do beyond this point but remove it as an ability. At the end of the day, Die of Death is an asym game. There are going to be many types of abilities, ones that help out your team, ones that help out yourself. But when Die of Death has shown that they want to have abilities that both provide support for your team and help out yourself if the option is available, then I don't see why Cloak should stay in the game any much longer. It's shown that it's an ability that can't be changed in a meaningful way that isn't just for the balance changes to see if it's a fair ability. I just don't think it has a place in Die of Death anymore.
At the end of the day, it is just my opinion, and if you don't agree with this, feel free to comment down below. Anyways, if you made it this far, consider subscribing since it helps me out. Either that or just like. Anyways, thanks for watching.